What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Sunday Social, one of our most popular shows. If you are a new viewer, please do like and subscribe to the channel because we have some last-minute madness going on in the transfer window currently at the minute. Topics are on your screen. Martinez agreed personal terms with Manchester United. Could there be a late twist with Lammens also going to Aston Villa? Jadon Sancho's even been offered in a loan to Villa as well as a bit of a make-weight, I suppose, but we'll dive into the details. And also Harry Amas nearly basically a done deal, a loan to Sheffield in the Championship, so we'll discuss that towards the end. But obviously, lads, this goalkeeper situation is the main topic that's heating up at the minute, so let me read out what's been reported and then we'll get your reactions to it. Man United have agreed personal terms with I'm just going to call him Emi Martinez, approached Aston Villa. As exclusively revealed this morning, Emi is back as concrete option for United if Lammens deal doesn't happen. Talks well underway now. Understand Villa have made a formal approach as well for Royal Antwerp for Son Lammens. He's the main option alongside Diogo Costa. In case Martinez ends up leaving the club, United are in talks with Villa for debut, and now Aston Villa think of a different keeper. So, not what we all expected. Civir, what's your reaction to someone like Martinez? Because I actually, I'll get into why a little bit later, but I actually prefer that option, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I kind of do. That's just because I don't really know anything about Lammens. But I know Emi Martinez. I'm not opposed to the deal, to be honest, really. If we can pull it off, fine. I think so far, I kind of just prefer the whole Premier League sort of proven talent. He's been in the walls before, so he kind of knows. He's a character as well. I like characters. He's a bit crazy. He's a bit of a nutter. So I like that about him. But yeah, I mean, at this point, beggars can be choosers, to be fair. So either would be great. I would just lean more towards Martinez because at least I know him. So Lammens might be great as well, but it's a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't know why we haven't been able to pull this off. Is it because does he not want to come, or because I don't imagine doing a deal with Antwerp should be that complicated.
Antwerp are asking for more money than United want to pay, basically.
Right.
Because Galatasaray are also interested as well, and they're willing to offer more money.
Okay, so it's like a bidding war sort of.
Yeah. But United don't want to get involved. They're like, this is what we want to pay. So you either take it, and Lammens wants to go to United. You don't necessarily want to go to Galatasaray.
Right. Okay. But yeah, I think it might be a good fit for us with Emi Martinez. Just character-wise, it won't be a shock to him. He knows how to deal with the Prem. And Amorim said something during his post-match presser when they asked him about the keepers, and he was saying, it's United, and the more everyone keeps talking about the keepers, they're more. He kind of alluded to them making more mistakes because there's so much scrutiny on the goalkeeper position. But I think someone like Martinez, I think he has the character to kind of deal with that sort of thing, and I think he has the personality, the drive, whatever you want to call it. I think he'll fit in right well, to be honest.
The main thing is, Sam, we actually get a keeper. So we could talk about which keeper it's going to be, whether it's Lammens or Martinez. But based off the evidence of the first 3-4 games of the season, we need someone to come through the door, don't we? Anyone, almost at this point, with how bad they've been.
We need somebody a goalkeeper come in who, A, knows how to defend the set piece, would be nice. Because neither one of our goalkeepers can do that. Bendy's got decent distribution, which I think is why he's played over Onana so far. So if one of them's got a half-decent ball on him, that would be really handy as well. Shot stopping, I think Martinez has probably got the edge in that. Very good shot stopper, really good at sort of pulling off fantastic saves and stuff like that. Martinez does have that bozo gene, though, doesn't he? He does have that in him to do stupid shit. As we saw with Rasmus Højlund in the last game of the season where he basically speared him out of his skin. He does have that in him. And we're trying to get away from that because Onana's got it. Bendy's got it. So that is there's a worry. He is a bell end as well as a person. Like, he just seems like a bit of a dickhead. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure on him. He's top. He's a top keeper when he's on form. He's definitely a top goalie. The long-term plan for United seems to be Lammens comes in and he becomes the number one. That seems to be their long-term plan. But with the struggle of the bid and trying to get a deal done with Antwerp, it seems like we've pivoted and gone, look, if we can't get our long-term plan, our long-term project in, we need somebody, like you said, Nick, and we need to go get somebody who can make an instant impact and like an immediate thing. And Martinez kind of fits the bill in that respect.
Will wages be an issue here, though, Chivy? Because I think the price tag's going to be similar. I think it's around 2025. From what I've seen, I mean, I might be completely wrong on that, but that's kind of what's being reported. But with him being that Prem-proven that we're talking about, is he going to want a lot? Again, I know you don't have any inside scoop on this or whatever, but we can only speculate with him being Prem-proven, certain age at the moment, 30, 31, whatever it is. He's going to want a decent chunk of change, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think I would imagine that Ineos already know what they want to pay, and they wouldn't want to overstep that sort of threshold that they've set.
They've agreed terms, right? They've agreed personal terms.
Agreed personal terms.
So I imagine the wage has been agreed upon.
Agreed,
How much would you pay a goalkeeper of his stature?
I don't know, maybe like 70, 80, something like that.
Really? I think that's way too low.
Too low?
I think it's way too low. Yeah, I think it's probably going to be double that.
I think he's probably I put anything from about 120 to 150 around there. It's probably going to be.
It wouldn't exceed 150.
I would put strong money on it that it'll be around that ballpark area.
Possibly. I mean, I'm
What's he getting in Villa? What's he getting in Villa? Do we know?
Check. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I'm probably one of the worst people to ask for that. Yeah.
Who knows nowadays with fucking wages and stuff. So at Aston Villa, he's on approximately £150,000 a week.
150.
Right. 150 already.
Yeah.
So if he's moving to United,
will he take a wage cut? Come to United.
Well, it seems like he wants to. It's like the other signings that we've brought in, like your Cunhas and your Mbumos and Seshkos. They wanted to come to Man United, and that's been one of the main kind of things they wanted to tick off. And Martinez, we've known since January pretty much. But he really wants to join the club. So in which case, that may be the case. For me,
I don't think we're not paying him more than 150. I guarantee you that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. Obviously, we don't know the finer details until, if the deal actually gets done. It still could be Lamont at this point. But the main issue for me is, Sam, you've spoken about Altai's distribution being better.
Yeah.
Onana may be a better shot stopper at times. But the main focus, and it's been so glaringly obvious at the start of the season, is crosses into the box and corners. That's been the main thing. And from what I've seen of Martinez, I think he's pretty strong at dealing with
He's
those.
Decent. He'll take people out to get to the ball.
Yeah,
like he'll run through people, which is something Bayende won't do. Like, he won't take a man out to get to the ball, whereas Martinez is like, no, I'm getting that ball, and he'll take whoever it is out the way to get to it.
Yeah, and that Premier League Save of the Season award he got as well was from a corner, I believe. Yeah. So he's much better on those, but I'm sure I saw a stat where he was saying he's made as many mistakes as Onana. So would that be a fear factor in the back of your head?
Well, here's another stat for you that I saw today, is that he has the highest percentage of high claims in the Premier League as a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
And I came across that stat like an hour ago, and someone was doing like a comparison. And that's in the Prem.
Yeah.
He has the highest... sorry, a call just came through. I hope it didn't...
No, you're all good.
You're good.
Right. Yeah, so he has the highest percentage of high claims in the Prem. So I suppose that counts for something, you know. I mean, surely it can't be as bad as Onana. I think Onana had like 12 mistakes in one season or something like that. Which is crazy. It's unfounded. I wouldn't expect to see the same thing from Martinez. But at this point, like, we just need someone in. To come in and do a job. So let's see what happens. He's a World Cup winner. He's played with crazy people before. He's Argentine. They're all mad. Yeah, let's see what happens.
But I do think we need character in that role. I do think you need someone strong and someone who really believes in himself. And some people say, well, Onana's a similar character, but I think that's almost like an overbelief system there, where he's like maybe too blasé about certain things.
Yeah.
Like you need someone. Go on.
You know, the crazy thing about both of them is that they seem to draw attention to themselves when they don't need to.
Yeah.
They just you really don't need to do some certain things, and then they just do that. Like what he did with the World Cup. Where he's like drag on people. Like, there's no point.
Onana with Matic as well, just talking shit like for no reason. Like why? Why have you done this?
Had
you just
every
put
United
pressure.
fan.
You just put pressure on yourself for no reason. Like
Every single United fan before that game was like, "What are you doing? Why have you gone and done that?
Idiots.
Shut the fuck up. Play the game. No one wants to hear you. Like this is some misfits boxing match that you're doing a promo for. Like, just fuck it off, mate. We're trying to advance through the league. You just putting unnecessary pressure. Speaking of putting, go on.
I was just going to say very quickly. I get your point about a goalkeeper who commands the area. I don't think we've had one that commands his domain, like he's sort of, that 18-yard box. Like none of what's his name, Bayende or Onana, none of them have seemed to be able to command that area.
Yeah,
like, Onana has, he's got the character and all that, but we just don't see it.
Yeah, agreed. If we look at his weaknesses, Sam, and I was reading the scout report. Obviously, I've watched him before, but I don't watch him week in week out for Aston Villa, but. One of the things, the red flags that popped up was pushing the ball away. He sometimes has a tendency to push shots into the path of oncoming strikers instead of knocking them away to safety.
God. Yeah, we remember that with Onana, who does that quite a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, and Bayern did it in the last game, didn't it? Yesterday.
Yeah, he did. I will give Bayern a bit of a break on that goal because the defense was all over the place.
Yeah.
That caused that. Obviously, he should be doing better with the save and stuff like that, but that defense was all over the place. Like they broke it down. I think it was James Alcott, I think, did it. Basically, De Ligt has come inside to pick a man up, and they've gone out wide, and Dalot is still on the inside, and De Ligt's told him, get back out, and he hasn't gone. And then by the time he does go, it's too late. The ball's in the box, so there's two basically middle people marking nobody. So there's the, what was the guy? Is it Lyle something?
Lyle Foster.
Striker. Lyle Foster. He just streams in, doesn't he, in the middle, unmarked, and puts it in the thing. So it's just like, you can't remonstrate for that. Obviously, he has to do a little bit better, but when your defense is letting you down like that, like it's a bit tricky to blame him totally, really.
Yeah. Now, another bizarre part of this situation, Chivy, is Fabrizio Romano's also reported that Jadon Sancho could be an option discussed with Aston Villa. Now, I'm not entirely sure if that's a make weight within this deal or a sweetener or whatever it is you want to call it, but it seems like if we're going to move him off the wage book somehow, this is going to be the only way we do it, right? Some form of weird loan.
Of course, Aston Villa have the money to pay him. Whether or not they're going to do that, that's a different thing. I don't think anyone in their right minds is going to look at Jadon Sancho as a player.
Can I just play devil's advocate for you though?
Yeah,
so they took Rashford, who was seen at the time like, not entirely sure, and Emery likes working with those kind of players, they believe really good players, but a bit of I don't know what the right word is. You know what I'm trying to say though, don't you? Like
the misfits.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a misfit, maybe something like that.
John Duran was like that, wasn't he? He was a bit of a temper tantrum type guy, wasn't he? Like,
and he got the best out of him.
Yeah,
but that's Rashford and Sancho are two different players. At least with Rashford, like you still get a certain level of professionalism, right? With Jadon Sancho, I don't think you get that. Like he's just let himself down completely, and I think any manager would feel far more comfortable getting a player like Rashford than getting Jadon Sancho, because at least Rashford still has something to fight for. He still has his England place to fight for. Sancho has nothing to fight for. Nothing. Absolutely nothing to fight for. Like he's just been a total letdown to himself.
The bag. That's what he's got to fight for, Chivy.
It's just the money. It's all about the money now. He has an expensive lifestyle that he needs to maintain. Aston Villa can pay that. I hope Emery is I hope Emery's everything you guys think he is, as far as wanting to work with, like, players who don't really, players like Sancho and Duran and all that kind of stuff. I hope he's that sort of player, and I hope he takes him on, hopefully, so that then we get that off the wage bill. And yeah.
All right, let's see what everyone else is thinking in the chat, then get your opinions in. Box saying Emmy will be a big mistake of a signing. Maybe elaborate on why you think he would be a big mistake of a signing. Vincent Bullock putting, why can't we sign both goalkeepers? Get it done simple. Man United, not Accrington Stanley. We're not Accrington Stanley, but with where we finished last season, I don't know if they could possibly do any more business.
I think the only way is if Onana and Bayende leave.
Yes,
one of them
correct.
leaves. That's the only way it happens.
Yeah. Absolutely agree with that. I think the same situation, I mentioned it in the chat yesterday about the striker as well. I would rather have a really experienced striker at the minute and then Šeško alongside him to build into it. Like a Lewandowski, like I mentioned. I would love to see that.
T2 the Izzo. Emery does seem to be like a twat whisperer.
The wording of that's incredible. A twat whisperer. Yeah, fair play, T2. His comment of the day. That's going to take some beating, that.
I like that.
Rayanator can't afford to have another experimental player come in, especially in goalkeeper. Emmy is Prem proven and has that leecher mentality, which these group of boys need urgently. Stomper saying just get him in. The other thing Onana and Bayandera are both guilty of is they often palm shots straight back into danger rather than pushing away. Does my head in. That's from Ali Williams. Not sure Martinez is much of an upgrade in our current donkeys. Also, Martinez is an absolute ball bag.
He is.
Timotheus says Martinez is just Onana on steroids. It's going to be one long season. Wow, some people unhappy about that. New report from Mike McGrath saying Lammens is still priority and deal is moving closer. From Mike McGrath, I mean,
yeah.
Chill out. The less said, the better, really. But on the current goalkeeper situation, Laurie Whitwell put something before which I thought was interesting in regards to why it seems Altai is the new number one at the minute. And he put, people at Man United had questions over Andre Onana's physical shape to pick up a hamstring injury so early after reporting back from holiday. Amorim's judgment of picking Bayandera over Onana has been made in the context of Onana missing all of pre-season. What did you both make of his performance yesterday in terms of Altai, Sam?
I've got to give you your flowers, by the way, because you called that out, didn't you, at the start of the preseason? You were like, "How the hell has he injured his hamstring?"
Yeah.
Like he's own thing, and we were all going, "Yeah, how the hell has he done that?" And now Laurie Whitwell's literally come out and gone, "Yeah, people were worried like how he's done his hamstring at that point."
Only Onana could ever do that, honestly.
Yeah. No, I think largely he wasn't faced with that much stuff, is it? So I think the idea of having a goalie who's sort of good with distribution and can claim his box, because that's where we suffer, innit? Like set pieces, corners, long throw-ins, free kicks. That's where we suffer. So if we get a goalie who's half decent at that, it stops a lot of the goals that go against us.
All the goals we concede.
Yeah,
basically.
well, yeah. Because we don't really face a lot of shots like outside the box or like free, like set open play stuff. Like we don't really face that much, if we're honest. And so I think as long as we get a guy who's in command of his box, like Chivy said, I think that mitigates a lot. Like then you have to do something pretty special, which it happens to most teams. Like if you get a special play and it happens, like that Ahmad goal that should have been, that was a really special goal had it gone in. The play that we made with Xerxes and Mbumo and stuff, that goes in the back of the net. As Burnley, you can't really say much, can you? Because the play was just phenomenal. Yeah. So I think his distribution is decent. And this is coming from three of us who watched that FA Cup final with David De Gea and just lost count of how many times he just gave the ball to the City player, which drove us up the wall. Onana is supposed to be really good at distribution. I've never seen him make a ball to a United player, ever. I've never seen him do it. And then playing out from the back is just something we seem to be insistent on. And the amount of times you think, look, we're getting pressed in and penned in here. Just one time, just knock a ball over the top to get out of the press, and there's a player free. And Bayinde basically put Cunha in, didn't he, and created the only open chance against Fulham, and ended up nearly scoring from it. So I think he's done decently well, but on set pieces, he's just a mess. It's just a fucking mess. And I just don't trust it. Anytime they get a corner or a free kick anywhere near our box, it's just like, oh dear God, here we go again.
Yeah. I agree. I think his distribution is in my opinion, is way better than decent.
100%.
I think it's really good. Yeah, way better. I mean, he made the equalizer because he throws it into to Xerxes, who then flicks it onto Dalot.
Yep.
And then Dalot. So his distribution is good. Like some of the passes that he makes straight into midfield, which is scary when I see it, but it always gets to the man whenever he plays it straight into midfield. So I think it's a lot more than decent. So on that, sort of skill, like I give him full credit for that. And like you said, Sam, we didn't really see him face too many shots that much. Most of the times when we saw him, especially like in the first half, it was when we passed the ball back to him and then he was trying to work it back up front. But the annoying thing is that when we need him the most, this is when he doesn't really, when he doesn't really perform. So like, especially with the throw in and then the guy lobs it over, and it's just one of those things. So yeah, it's I have to give him credit as far as helping us to move the ball forward and all that kind of stuff. Like it's a really, really big plus.
If he could sort out
do that, yeah,
being commanding in the box, I'd be all right with him for the season, and we could just sort of wait out and just see who becomes available next summer, or bring Lammens in and have him as second goalie. Yeah. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, if keepers also thrive on confidence, and I was just hoping. That's why I was so disappointed with like the goals, because if we can just keep one clean sheet and build from that one, and keepers just can't. Their confidence grows because Amorim said it. They're human. Goalkeepers, players, they are human, and it plays on their minds and all that kind of stuff. Like the penalties that we had to go through with Grimsby, like Mbeumo was probably the last person that, him and Bruno are like the last two people you would expect to miss a penalty. Things happen, so it's that kind of stuff. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see how it plays out.
I think people are going to start using those penalties against Grimsby as like torture methods for people, like just make them watch that on a loop, like all day.
What was worse, Nick? That one or the Villarreal one in the Europa League final?
The Villarreal one, I was really drunk when I was watching it, so I felt more angry at the time because I had a drink. But
they were some of the worst penalties I've ever seen in my life at the Villarreal one. I've never seen such shit penalties ever. They were fucking terrible.
In relation,
sorry, mate. Go on.
That's all right. Sorry. In relation to the actual game, there was a couple of things I wanted to ask you about because I obviously didn't get to speak about it properly yesterday. Watching the game, you guys will both know from the stadium, it's different to watching it on TV. You pick up on different things, you see different things tactically. And this system for me, because I was watching it from the east stand, so the first half it was like the players in front and they're attacking the Stretford end, and then so I was really looking at how they kind of operate in each kind of way and how we're kind of progressing the ball. And I really don't like the to Euro, the bounce passes in the middle. It's very, very risky. So risky and almost too obvious at times as well. Yeah. Like the teams just know if you get someone pressing into them really quickly, you can pinch that ball off them, and they've got an open run. Do you know what I mean at the back line? And it's a lot of heavy reliance on Euro or Shaw, whoever it is who's playing in those wide centre back areas. And then also to add to that as like a tactical element, those pairings on either side have got to be spot on. And I think that's why Amorim was a little bit like when he found out about Cunha and Mount, or when he was speaking about it, he was like, if they're out, that's going to be a problem because they bring so much to us. That like Ahmad and then Mbeumo, it seemed like finally they was picking up a bit of a partnership on the right hand side, and the left hand side looked decent as well. But that's where our threat's coming from. Nothing's coming through the middle at all. When I was watching it yesterday,
it seems like
nothing.
It seems like the system is relying on everything pulling off and working perfectly.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't, there's so much risk. There's so much risk if it doesn't happen. So those passes have to be perfectly pinpointed. The runs have to be perfect. The pressing has to be perfect. If one player slightly overhits a pass or slightly doesn't press enough or something like that, it just seems to cause chaos. And then everybody seems to lose their heads and be like, where am I supposed to be? And it just seems to be, I'm sure it's not a complicated system, but it seems like the players, if things are not clicking, they just seem to lose their heads and not sure where they're supposed to be or what they're supposed to be doing. Like that defensive mix-up with Casemiro doesn't mark the guy who gets the flick on, and then Shaw's out of position, and then De Ligt's out of position. Dalot, that there's just all this different stuff, and you're just like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and it becomes contagious. Then, doesn't it? Like everyone else starts making fucking mistakes.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Finally, you guys are starting to see the way I've been seeing it. Finally,
it
because
only hit me though because I was watching it in the stadium. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. It's
yeah,
different.
it's a lot different. It's a lot different. I remember. I know exactly what you mean. I mean, I remember when we played Chelsea like some years ago, and when it was a 1-1, Ronaldo scores like to equalize. And I was just like in awe of Thomas Tuchel because I was actually in Stratford End facing Eastern, so I could see everything that way.
Exactly.
And I was just like, yo, this guy, because he stretched us. Like, so anyway, I'm not going to go into that, but I see what you mean as far as you're able to see it play by play.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of, I think we've discussed this before, at least I've mentioned it before, that the system relies on the players to be at 100% every single time.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't find it sustainable, because you're not going to have your players 100% every single time. And it's high risk. It's high reward, but it's high risk.
And it's fantastic. It's fantastic when it's right. It's fantastic to watch.
When it clicks,
it's amazing.
When it clicks,
yeah.
And let's give. I want to give credit where credit is due, because I've been heavily critical of the manager. But let's be real here. So when we played Grimsby, they were the better team. Grimsby was better than us.
Yeah.
But let's be real. We were the better team against Arsenal.
Yep.
We're the better team against Fulham. And we're the better. And we're the better. So it's 3 games we've played now that we were the better team. I'm not saying I'm off for Amorim or whatever, but there's an improvement now. And I can see, like, it's not like before where we're just completely hanging, we're played off the park. And of course, there's lots of criticism. And I'm his biggest critic, but you have to give credit where credit is due. If it clicks, it clicks. The problem I have is, how long are we going to risk this? Like, this is a huge risk.
Huge risk. As well, like, for this system to work, we've not invested. Like, I'm sick of going on about it, and I'm sure Nick is. Mm-hmm. We've not invested in a midfielder. Because without 2 midfielders, you need you need a Belieber and stuff like that. We've not gone out and got one, so that's going to be a problem all season now. And we've not really invested. Wing backs are key to this system. Yeah. Dorgu is improving slowly, but not quite there yet. And then Ahmad had an awful game against Grimsby, but he was really good against Burnley, so that's why it worked so well. Yeah. But with Dalot, becomes ineffectual. Like, it just becomes negative at that point. So if Ahmad doesn't play there, you're screwed, because Dalot is no good in this system. So we haven't invested in a right wing back either. So we've not invested in the players to sort of make the system work.
Can I just put a little bit of pushback on that? This whole thing about the midfield for me is like, I was really excited about Belieber, and that was the one that I would have loved to get. However, it doesn't make a difference to me. I don't care. For me personally, and I may be wrong, but even if another midfield is going to be the same thing, it's going to be Bruno and someone else. Who is that? Like, it wouldn't matter. If we're still playing in this system, it wouldn't matter who the midfielder is. Because, guys, Cass was decent yesterday.
He was good.
Yeah, as far as
I don't know why he took him off. I don't know why they took him off. It was weird.
Cass was good. Cass was good yesterday. As far as the Bob's popping the ball, watching the spotting the plays. He was good. I'm not crazy about midfield at the moment. Now I know a lot of people are going to be like, I'm going crazy, but in this system, like, what we have is what we have right now, and I'm not sure anyone else is going to. I think the point I'm trying to make is, I don't think anyone out there is going to come in and make a heavy impact. I think people are just, it's the sort of thing where we're just worried, and we just want someone to come in and just pacify our worries. You understand? But I think with the way we play, I don't think it'll make a difference. It would be good to have someone in to come in, but I don't see it making a huge difference. Sort of like Sesko. Like, I'm already beginning to feel like he's going to be the new Rasmus. Not because he's not a good player, but his qualities don't just suit the team. This is how I'm starting to feel already.
On the midfield, I get what you're saying, because I don't think it's going to be like the way everyone thinks it's going to be. Like, the whole system's going to change completely there. But I think if you swapped Caicedo for Casemiro now, for example, you would see a big difference, in my opinion, from the way we operate.
progressing the ball, I haven't really seen.
Yeah. Mate, Caicedo, in my opinion, at least, I think Casado's one of the best midfielders in the league.
He's he's not as good as, I wouldn't say he's as good as Kante, but he's probably the closest I've seen.
Yeah.
Since Kante left, I think.
Yeah. Like, I think if you handpicked and swapped one of them out, let's say you swap Chelsea's midfield, Enzo and Caicedo, for Cass and Bruno, I think you would see a level of improvement, a really, really, and that's by no stretch of me saying Bruno's a shit player or he's not. It's just because where they're specifically playing. But even still, it's got its faults, and one of the faults for me is when we play Mount plays really well and helps out with the legs and dropping in sometimes. But then when you do play Mount, you have to play, let's say Cunha's starting as the 9, which isn't his usual comfortable role.
No.
And then you miss out on Cunha being on the left then. And then if he starts drifting, there isn't anyone in the box to attack. Do you know what I mean? And we have a space there and it's missing. And that's been the same thing since I remember playing City in the fucking Community Shield. And Mason Mount, I've referenced this a few times, like, Ahmad squares it, no one's there. That's what you miss out on that. And then when we're having games where there's, 25 shots a game, so we're creating chances, but there's fucking no one there to finish it. And Sesko was always going to be a risk. I still think he's a decent player. I think it's going to take a bit of time to kind of get up and going, because Amram was talking about cramp and
he's not had a he's not had a preseason, has he? So he's behind every other player in the squad. So he's going to take some time to get up to standard.
I would rather have a situation where we, like City had with Haaland and Alvarez, where Haaland's the main guy, but Alvarez is still quality, but he can just come in, and I'd rather that, but that's not going to happen because they're not going to bring in another striker. So
I like that you touched on the Mount situation, because that's something that I've been very conflicted about as well, because he's really impressed me, and we look a lot more compact with him in the team, and he gives legs, but so far he gives more than just legs. Like, he keeps the ball moving. Like, he's making the passes, the 1-2s.
Very intelligent.
And then even when he does the back heel passes, like, it connects. So it just doesn't go into. So that's great. That's really great. But what that does is it takes a little bit away from our attacking threat. That's the problem, because instinctively he's not like a striker, like
an Alvarez who I just referenced, like a 9.5, like
exactly. Yeah. So I'm really conflicted about that, because we look solid when he plays. Like, he adds a lot of defensive assurity to us, and we look a lot more compact and solid and all that. But we just miss out on the going forward. But did you guys notice that at least in the first half, we had a lot of more. There was a lot more bodies in attack. Like, it was so different from what we saw with Grimsby or Fulham, where we're progressing the ball. There was more players occupying attacking spaces when we're moving the ball forward. So that's something that I think. Sorry, go on.
I'm just saying, I just hope Mount's injury isn't serious, like, because without him, and then Cunha as well, who's injured, we're in a bad way. Like, in the next game, we've got City in the next game when we come back, and to not have those two hard-working, quick sort of like people to push up from front, it's going to make it difficult against City.
Why not try though? Like, again, I know Amrin when he gets interviewed, he's like, guys, it's not the system, it's da, da, da. But I would really, really love to see, if you're going to play Mount, put Mount, Cass, Bruno or Kobe or whoever, drop him in as like a permanent 3 midfield that you need, and have Cunha and Bumo playing off each other as the split striker kind of system. Now, that may happen tactically in games, I don't know, but for me, it doesn't seem like that kind of setup. It still seems like Mount's drifting in those kind of left pockets, which he did some good work in, like, granted, I think. I would like to see that Thomas Frank kind of style, like midfield, where you've got the split strikers, just for a game. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I want to see it though, because I think it could work. And Bumo, like, him and Cunha are still able to drift at times, and if you need to push a player forward, you can do that. I just think it offers us more flexibility on and off the ball.
But another thing that I was quite pleased with yesterday was Xerxes coming on and just connecting, like,
really good.
I love it. Yeah, he was really good.
I love it how when you play it into it just sticks every time.
It just sticks every time. Yeah, it sticks, and
so good.
Yeah, so that's another option, because he allows us to be a little bit more fluid. in the way we play. But yeah, here's the thing, and I may be very wrong, but I think I'm not scared of City because
A lot of famous last words.
I know, and this might come back to
We
haunt
do
me,
always
but
beat them though, don't we? Like we seem to beat, even when we're shit, we seem to do something against City.
Yeah.
Every
yeah,
time.
because I think they play into us. They play into our traps because, especially in this system, once there's space, we exploit those spaces in behind. And I think if City kind of, if we're playing on the back foot, I have more confidence in it. Look what Arsenal tried to play us, and every time Calafiori kind of even moved forward a little bit, Mbeumo was wide open, and he would always get the ball and that kind of stuff. So yeah, if we're going against City, man, like bring it on. I'd like to see how we fare against them. It's the lesser teams that sort of allow us play and frustrate us, and that's where I think we struggle more.
Do you know what the funny thing is? Man City are currently drawing Sam with Brighton 1-1, and they're on the exact same points as us if it finishes like that. It's funny how narratives.
There's a crisis at United, but it's fine at City.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
it's interesting that. So then we go into the international break, literally right next to each other in the table. City being 9th, City being 10th. So if you beat City, you go above them after that, which is just like
imagine.
Yeah.
But everyone's dancing on our grave right now. Everyone's dancing on United's grave. It's all the memes, it's all United, and I don't like it, but I kind of like that sort of situation because then it gives us the opportunity. Like if we then kind of pull this off, because like I said, I wouldn't take that for granted that we were the better team in our 3 Prem games so far. Yeah, we're in clinical, but we're the better team. And so that's something that I'm holding on to because at the moment, I don't think we're going to get rid of Amorim, and I just have to accept that he's going to be here, and I'm going to have to accept that this is how we're playing now. As much as I hate it, but it is what it is.
T2 saying there was a telling moment in the Grimsby game. Onana stepped out to receive a pass, and Maguire looked at him and turned away with the ball. The players have lost faith in him. According to Fab, Antwerp want €25 million guaranteed. That is steep. I thought we needed a midfielder the most, but our keepers are costing us a min of a goal a game. Absolutely mental and unsustainable. I like Dallow's attitude, but he's just not good enough in my opinion.
No.
Pat May saying most of us know Bruno isn't a midfielder, but it's hard not to select him in the side because of what he gives us in most games. Yeah, he's still creating most chances in the league, by the way.
Yeah.
Statistically. But Bruno yesterday, I watched him closely as well. He got bullied off the ball so many times. Just brushed off, mate, like he was nothing. And he was caught whinging again at times. Like, come on, man. Like
that Ugo Chukwu who plays for them.
Yeah.
That midfielder. Oh my God, yeah. He was
a unit, isn't he? He's a fucking unit, that lad.
And he's good on the ball as well.
Yeah. How we doing? Shreyas in the chat, because Shreyas, City away, Chelsea home, Brentford away is not an easy 3 after the break. It's not. Chelsea's going to be difficult, super difficult. They seem like the flow in at the moment. But I don't want to worry about that just yet. We've got an international break. Just the last story, lads, coming from Simon Stone. Harry Amas is going out on loan to Sheffield Wednesday. Apparently that's close to completion. What have you made of him since he's come into the team? Do you think he still needs a lot of work?
He's raw, isn't he? He's really raw. He's got some talent. He's definitely got some aspects that I really like. Defensive work maybe needs a little bit of sort of discipline and work on. He's not the biggest lad, so hopefully going to Championship, he can develop, put a bit of size on, bit of muscle on, and sort of physicality-wise get better. Because you look at Diego Leon at 17, and he's just a monster, isn't he? Like, he just looks like a fucking bruiser. So that'll do him an advantage in the Premier League, and he can learn the rest of his game like around that, whereas Harry Amas needs to develop, I think. But yeah, it's good that he's going out of loan to Championship. I think that's a good spot for him to go. Don't Sheffield Wednesday struggle to pay their players, though? Is that not what
they've got an issue at the moment, like this toxic.
I'm not sure there, but yeah, anyway, I think it's a good move for him. I like him a lot, but hopefully this is the development for him. Like, know what happened to Ahmad, where he went and he just like hit the ground running. Hopefully this is that moment for him, because that'd be nice.
You see the difference now, though, don't you, Chivy, with Diego Leon, though, for example, what the demands from a young wing back in the system.
Yeah. I mean, with Harry Amas, like I like him going forward. He just is just his awareness that's a problem. But in defensive situations, like he kind of has that thing what Luke Shaw was suffering from earlier on, where he just was not always aware of the runner behind him.
Just switch off, don't they? They just turn their heads off, and they're just like, "Where the fuck is he gone?"
Yeah, but on the ball, he's good, especially attacking and all that kind of stuff. Like he's really, really good. He seems to have a certain confidence in his abilities, which is great. But I think he's just not ready yet for the kind of defensive pressure that we're going through right now, because he just loses his man all the time, and that's a big problem. And that might not be that would be something that needs coaching, and I hope he gets that at Sheffield, not just experience, but I hope he gets really good coaching at Sheffield, because if he can work that out, then yeah, I think he'd be good enough. But I like the idea of him
personally.
I like the idea of him, but I don't think he's a United player.
No, I don't see it. I mean, maybe a lower Prem table, maybe higher Championship. I think he might work out.
Yeah, he might get some good experience there, and then we can sell him and make some money off it.
Yeah. Chelsea scammed their way to a win against Fulham yesterday. They're not as complete as people think. Regardless, they're still top of the table, haven't lost a game, scored 6 goals and only conceded 1. So they might not look amazing, but still getting the job done. And they've got a player in João Pedro as well, who just looks phenomenal in a minute for them.
Non-stop scoring, he?
Off corners as well, which is what worries me. So, yeah, look, we'll see what happens. We just had another update in from Romano on the reason why we've opened talks with Martinez again this morning is because Royal Antwerp want a guaranteed 21.6 million for Lammens, and United have started with an offer of 14.7 with 2.5 in add-ons. Basically, that's why they've gone for Martinez now. So, yeah, Galatasaray must be offering decent money. I don't know what's going on there, but listen, the transfer window is forever crazy. So God knows what's going to happen today. God knows what's going to happen tomorrow and on Tuesday. Is it shut tomorrow or Tuesday? The window. Anyone know?
2nd of September, I think. But yeah,
right.
Tuesday.
So, yeah, it's going to shut on Tuesday. Whether we get a goalkeeper in or not, I'm not entirely sure, but there will be loads of updates, as always, on our socials, bottom right-hand corner of your screen, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, you know the dance by now. If anything significant breaks in regards to Uno was a midfielder, which I don't think's going to happen at all.
Doubtful.
Yeah, extremely doubtful, but if anything breaks live, of course, we will go live. Apart from that, you've got a couple of big games on today. You've got Liverpool, Arsenal, you've got Villa and Palace as well. So yeah, enjoy the football, enjoy the transfer news, and me, Sam, and Civir will see you guys in the next one. See you in a bit.